abundance in a universe. And we all have the ability to tap into our deepest dreams. You can learn and grow at your own speed and build a business based on your own needs. Well, I bet you didn't know you could make money from your home and take control of your security. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that you could make it on your own and take good care of your family. Why do we wait until tomorrow when we could do it today? Step out of your comfort zone and take a leap of faith. You can learn and grow at your own speed and build a business based on your own needs. Well, I bet you didn't know you could make money from your home and take control of your security. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that you could make it on your own and take good care of your family. Bedrock bookkeepers rocket from their home. Bedrock bookkeepers make it on their own. Bedrock bookkeepers live it in the zone. Well, I bet you didn't know you could make money from your home and take control of your security. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that you could make it on your own and take good care of your family. Well, I bet you didn't know you could make money from your home and take control of your security. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that you could make it on your own and take good care of your family. Well, I bet you didn't know you could make money from your home and take control of your security. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that you could make it on your own and take good care of your family.
Sige ba yan, Nanay? Si Jan Janata yan?
Magandang araw po sa lahat. Ako si Malana, and I'm working as an online accountant and bookkeeper for almost 2 years. I was part of the batch 2 of the 13-week course for accountants and tax preparers. So that was around August last year. And then I have this client which I got from Upwork. The client has a huge problem on her books. So I think of Bedrock. I think of Joe because I know very well that Joe is really genuine, sincere in helping small business owners in the US. So what I did is I told my client to book a call with Joe so that she can directly communicate with Joe and mention about her business, not only cleaning up her books, but Joe can also help her in organizing her financials. For me, Bedrock Partnership Program, in one word, it's more on learning. Since I am part of the partnership program, so I learn a lot from Joe directly because we are working on the same client. So working with Joe means lots of learnings about US accounting, about US taxation. So it's learning. from August up to now, I continue to learn so many things from Joe because we are working on the same books. So that means that I learn so many practical things from him. So that's actually one of the precious and most valuable thing that I benefit from Bedrock. I can't believe actually that Joe is mentioning to me that, okay, Malona, let us have a call. So I told myself, what? A free call with him around 30 minutes, 1 hour, or more than 1 hour. So imagine, saan ka makakita ng US accountant na magbibigay sa'yo ng ganun kahabang oras, tapos ganun ka-valuable, yung pinagkukwentuhan nyo, ganun ka-valuable, yung tinuturo niya sa'yo. That is the most precious and valuable thing that I learned from Joe. Humility, and at the same time, the learnings that no one can ever get that from me. You have to get this chance to be partner of Bedrock because not only the monetary amount that we receive from affiliate fees, but also the learnings that we can get being a Bedrock partner. So that is my message to all the online accountants and bookkeepers or students of Bedrock. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, especially Joe, for an incredible US payroll masterclass. What stood out to me wasn't just a technical know how, but Joe's real life insights and advice. It's been both motivating and inspiring, truly a game changer for me. His experiences actually brought the lessons to life, making the complex seem simple. So, cheers to what we've learned and to where we're headed, armed with knowledge and inspiration. Thank you.
I'm so happy. I'm grateful to be part of this masterclass. I'm grateful for the Bedrock team and especially to Joe for supporting us Filipinos to undergo this kind of training and giving us this opportunity. This is a this is a big deal for me because I'm already I'm employed for how many years already, and I want to pursue what my passion is. And doing this, I try to make this payroll as a great niche for me, and to discover this great opportunity, also explore. Thank you so much, Bedrock, and I know this is a lifetime support from you. Thank you so much, Joe.
I've enrolled in tax preparation before, so I was there at the second jump start, and I think Joe and the Bedrock team, I have learned a lot, and I was recently hired as an email assistant in an accounting firm. So I was the assistant of the owner of the accounting team, and I encountered payroll questions, and here in the payroll course, the information provided was incredibly helpful. I learned a lot, and I thank everyone for that.
First of all, I am so pleasure to be part of Bedrock. I didn't expect that I would be able to finish it because of the time. That is the most thing that hinder me to finish everything. But thank you very much for Miss Eileen for helping me to pursue it. And I do believe in Bedrock, I learn more and upscale my knowledge. Although I've been doing accounting since I graduated here in the Philippines, I believe that having learning a new knowledge, especially from other countries, is a big opportunity for me. So I'm doing this not because I would like to earn more. presently I am comfortable already, and but I know but I know that if I learn something, I will gain more.
I'm undergraduate college student, and my course is accountancy. I have frustration because here in the Philippines, when you are not graduate, you don't have chance to uh, work in an accounting firm. So my frustration, when I watched the video about the tax agent, when I joined in a accounting people's group, I said uh I said to myself that I can do it even though I'm not graduate in accounting. I can improve myself po kahit even though po na hindi ako graduate ng accounting here in the Philippines. And I said to myself po na kaya ko to kahit na international yung accounting na pag-aaralan ko. Then when I was in college, kasi I know nung time na yun na hindi ako makaka-graduate because of financial. Then tumatak sa isip ko na okay, meron pang pag-asa. Not here in the Philippines. But kahit nandito ako sa Philippines, I can work in US, I said to myself. Then, on, I always checking my online job. Nag-rate ako online job way back 2014 na sa platform na yun. But hindi ako nag-apply kasi I know na I'm not yet skilled. And then nung sabi ko, I always praying na, Lord, kapag nagka-family ako, okay lang po ba na I can work from home kasi I don't want to raise my child ng malayo sa kanya. And then after ko manganak, I got job na tumulong sa akin yung best friend ko nung college na naipasok niya ako sa international accounting din siya, but through her po tinanggap ako kahit hindi ako graduate. And then sabi ko ito na yung start na pwede ko na i-upskill yung sarili ko. And then I tried din po na mag-apply online job na kasi meron na ako konting confidence na mag-bookkeeping. And then nakakuha ako, nagulat ako kasi ang mga nakikita kong testimony sa Facebook na more months or years sila bago sila nakakuha ng client. Then nagulat po ako, nakuha ko months pa lang. And nung time na yun, struggling din po ako pero nakuha ko yung client na yun. Then sobrang thankful ko habang sobrang tinreasure ko yung client na yun kahit low rate lang siya kasi gusto ko talaga magkaroon ng experience. Then sabi ko meron na akong budget to enroll. Akala ko hindi ko siya makakompleto kasi dumating yung year end doon kung saan ako nag-work. Sobrang tight ng schedule. Sobrang hindi ko alam kung yung pagod ko kasi syempre puyatan sa work tapos meron pa tayong training. Yun nga, nana ko pa rin na makahabol ako sa mga assignments kahit na late na yung mga iba kong submit. Then yun, thankful ako nung last na video call with Miss I, sinabi niya sa akin na pwede pang makahabol nga yung kay Miss Juliet. Hindi ako nawalan ng pag-asa nung sabi ko makakagraduate din ako dito. Then ayun nga, na nakasama ako sa graduation. Thank you. Thanks Joe for your courses. Sobrang helpful po talaga para sa amin na gusto mag-upskills and sa mga beginners po na katulad po. Thank you very much Joe. And for the team po.
All right, good morning. It's 9 a.m. and I think afternoon to Larry. I don't know, maybe 5 p.m. Larry, if I'm not mistaken. 5 p.m.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Okay. So can we give more time, at least 2 minutes, Larry, to let
whatever you need. Yes,
Yeah.
whatever you need. Yeah.
Okay, because just message me too. They will join us. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, I joined the Bedrock because of the opportunity and because I'm a nurse and a pharmacist. I really don't have an accounting background. I just took bookkeeping. And then when I saw that Bedrock is offering y- to become a tax preparer, I've been searching on another platform where others are took their certificate from Bedrock. So I googled it, and then 2 days before the start of the class, I joined immediately without thinking because I want to earn and I want to learn more. And this is an opportunity for me, and I am actually looking forward to learn more from Bedrock. So I will be enrolling into other courses because I also want to be a part of Bedrock.
I just want to express my deepest gratitude to Bedrock team for the knowledge, for the guidance and support you have provided us throughout the payroll course. Um, as someone who has no background in accounting, I really had a hard time, but the way you made the topics accessible and engaging, and you always ensure that we understood the material thoroughly. The knowledge that I've gained from this course is not only theoretical but also practical. I am especially thankful for your patience and encouragement, Joe, which have motivated me to strive for excellence.
This course is not a walk in the park. It needs true dedication and the resolve to finish it and see it through. So I had to muster all courage. And it is a milestone, and I am very proud of what we have accomplished. It's not really easy, but you can see that before I thought that I will not be able to do this. I thought this is a very hard work. I thank Joe for opening this opportunity to us Filipinos. All of us will become successful, of course, with God's help, and I congratulate you all also.
I just want to thank you, Joe, and everyone. So thank you so much for the opportunity, the hustle while doing it, the researching, the headache while we plot the Excel file, the Google sheet. It was all worth it, knowing that I got the certification and I also graduated in this batch. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the tax course, the upcoming tax course. Yeah, more headaches and struggles to come. Thank you so much, guys.
One of the things I've learned is to be resourceful and be confident, even if we don't know, research and ask questions. Thank you for Joe and the Bedrock team for really opening this course to us. It's a great opportunity for us to learn and get like a hands-on experience to do payroll tasks in a US setting.
All right, I think let's start. And although people are still coming in because they're lost about the link, but again, good morning, Joe and Bedrock and Larry, of course. Good afternoon. Okay.
Hello.
All right. So, who among you last time? Who among you who attend last time with Cap Hernandez regarding confidence on LinkedIn? Type me. Yeah, Deck is here, of course. Perfect attendance, Deck. Yeah. Okay, so another exciting topic for today, morning Saturday in the Philippines and afternoon from Larry. I will not make it long. I will introduce, of course, Larry Broughton for our guest speaker, in-house speaker. Take it away.
In-house. How about that? Hi, everyone. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Hello, Joe.
Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Broughton.
Good
Good to
morning,
see
Joe.
you.
You too. I'm going to say this before I jump into this. It makes my heart swell up when I watch these videos from people who have zero experience doing payroll or bookkeeping or accounting, and they're nervous and they're scared and they think in the beginning, I'm not going to be able to do it, but they persevere. They push forward. They do it anyway. Doesn't that just make you so proud, Joe, to see this?
Absolutely. It inspires me. It tells me that I'm in the right place doing the right thing, Larry.
Yeah, I've had a
And
lot of
and let me just add,
opportunities. Yeah,
let me just add, because this is
yeah,
your mantra. I'm living a life of significance
yes,
because of all these people and my
right.
team.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you shared that because anything that's worth having is worth fighting for. It's worth the struggle. It's worth pushing through the uncomfortable moments. It's worth embarrassing ourselves once in a while. It's worth failure. And living a life of significance is going to take a lot of these struggle sometimes, which kind of ties into what we're going to be talking about here today. So, Joe, stand by because I'm going to call on you for a little bit here, and I'm going to need a couple of volunteers later on, and in this because believe it or not, this is going to be a little bit interactive at least one point today. And I'm going to ask someone who is pretty comfortable speaking English to play one role. I'm going to ask someone else who might struggle with English to participate as well. And I see some of you laughing already, Dak. I see some of you. I can see your faces. But here's the thing. This is a an environment where we are not here to embarrass each other, but to encourage each other. That's what Bedrock is all about. That's what the Jumpstart community is all about, is that we're doing all of this stuff together. We go arm in arm into battle. Thank goodness it's not real battle, but life sometimes feels like that. And when you have people encouraging you and cheering you on, isn't life just a lot more joyous? Isn't it a lot more fun to live? And so these are the places where you take risk, safe spaces like this. And so I'm going to share my screen, if that's all right, and we're going to dive into this. At some point, I'm not sure who the host is, but at some point, I'm going to ask you if you can spotlight two different people. Coach Jan, are you the host today on this?
I think Ellen
Okay.
or yeah.
Ellen, are you there somewhere? I'm going to ask you to spotlight a couple people at some point, whoever the host is, okay? So you should see that stunning photo of me. Is that right? You guys see that? I love these smiles you got. You got Judy, I see your big smile. You can't hide from me. It's great to see you guys on here. Thank you so much, everybody. Luz, it's good to see you.
No.
All
Hello,
right, my friends. Hey, hey, hey. We're gonna talk about some uncomfortable stuff this morning for some of you. Some of you folks, this is going to be like a real joy. But I want to talk to you about strategies for confident English client communication. How many of you aren't very comfortable, okay, are not very comfortable speaking English? You could raise your hand or you could put me in the chat, or you could just let me know somehow whether you're comfortable or not. I see. Let me open up the chat here so I can see what's going on. Give me 1 second. I'm sliding things all over my variety of screens here. Okay, there's a handful of you. Okay, good. Um, well, this is the place where we get to have fun and enjoy. Oh, there's several coming through. Good. So here's what we're going to do, though. Today, here's what we're going to talk about. Isn't that a cute picture? I love this little picture of this guy. All right. Today, we're going to be talking about the importance of confident English communication because it is important. And we're going to figure out why. We're going to talk about the 100-hour rule. Joe, I'm going to come to you here in a second for that. We're going to talk about strategies for building your confidence. I'm so glad that Cap was on here last week because confidence is so important. And I hope he talked about how do you build confidence, right? Confidence oftentimes comes from competence. The more you practice, the more confident you become. We're going to talk about some language games that you can play right here in Bedrock or in your organization, in your agency, in the Jumpstart community. And we're going to do a little bit of a practice session for a couple of you. We're going to talk about tips for effective business English. and then we're going to talk about tools and resources for continuous improvement and learning. Okay, so before we go into this, I want to talk to you about a little bit of a story here that I think is going to resonate with some of you. And so this story is about Liza, who's a bookkeeper from a small town there in the Philippines, and she struggled with her English skills, and she oftentimes felt embarrassed when she had to communicate with clients from America. Does that resonate with any of you? I can tell you this. I've traveled to a bunch of different countries, and there are times when I'm going to a country that does not speak English and I struggle with the language. That can be embarrassing. You're afraid you're going to offend someone, or you're going to say the wrong thing. Despite Liza being a really, really good accountant, she would avoid speaking English whenever she could. She was afraid that her grammar. See, I just made a mistake right there. She was afraid that her grammar or her pronunciation was going to lead to misunderstandings, right? But one day she was alone in the office and she received a phone call from a long-term client who had a question about their financial report, right? And so she could feel her heart begin to race when she answered the phone. You know, her mind was racing with self-doubt. But instead of letting fear take over, Liza decided to focus on what she knew best. And what did she know best? Numbers. She knew accounting. She knew bookkeeping. So she took a deep breath and she started to explain the report using simple language and breaking down the information into these manageable, small little parts. And to her surprise, the client was really patient and really appreciative for her extra effort, knowing that she's making an effort here. What we need to remember here is most Americans only speak English, unlike a lot of folks around the world who speak multiple languages. And like the Philippines has what, 10 or 12 major languages there, and many of you can speak, to many different languages. Well, think about that, right? You speak more languages than most of your clients do. And so the client even asked some follow-up questions to Liza. And the more she spoke with the client, the more comfortable she became and the more engaged she became in the conversation. So by the end of the call, she felt the sense of accomplishment. Not only had she solved the problem, but she pushed through her fear. And that inspired her just enough to put a little bit more effort into learning English. And so she began watching English language movies and children's cartoons that were in English that had subtitles. And she joined an online language exchange program and she practiced speaking English with all of her friends, right? So over time, her confidence grew and she started to participate more actively in client meetings. And Liza's journey didn't just transform her English skills, it also changed her perspective on her job and on her life. And she learned that it was okay to make mistakes, that her knowledge and expertise were really valuable assets. And today, Liza not only communicates effectively with clients, but she's also a mentor to other bookkeepers who face similar challenges. And she encourages them to embrace the journey towards their confidence and courage. So this story, I hope, highlights that even those with limited language skills can achieve success through what? Perseverance, tenacity, some courage, and focus on your strengths. She focused on what she knew best, the numbers in the beginning, right? And then she ultimately inspired other people along the way. So I'm going to go back and look, and yep, a couple more people have said that you're uncomfortable speaking English. You're not alone. That's the thing. We have to remember that confidence isn't about perfection. It's about believing in your ability to communicate effectively and provide value to your clients. Okay. And so what I want to do with you now is just share with you a few points about how important it is or why it's important that you have confident English skills or that you improve your confidence in speaking English. The first one is this: it builds trust with your clients. When you can effectively communicate with anyone, don't you feel like you can trust them more because you know what they're saying, right? And you know that you're being understood, right? Number two, it enhances your professional image. Some of you know this. I spent a bunch of years in the military, and I spent 1 full year in a Russian immersion program. So I went to a school and all you spoke was Russian for 1 full year. So by the end of this, I came out speaking fluent Russian and understanding it. Now, most languages, if you don't practice them, you kind of lose them, right? So now I can hear people speaking Russian and I understand it, but I still get uncomfortable speaking it, right? So we're going to continue on this here for a second. Number 3, it leads to clear, more effective interactions. When I go to a country where I understand the language, I have so much more joy. It's so much less stressful, right? So think about this in your work environment. If you're speaking with English or American or English speaking clients, like from the UK or most of the world, most English is spoken in several places, South Africa, most of the African continent, right? So it leads to more effective interactions. Number 4, it reduces misunderstandings and errors. There are few businesses where misunderstandings and errors can cost a client, maybe the medical industry, but your industry as well can really cost people, money, livelihoods, businesses, if you're not communicating effectively. And the last thing is this: it opens up career advancement opportunities and, wouldn't we all like this? More income. People who speak effectively in multiple languages get jobs easier. They make more money. I can tell you this. One of the businesses that I'm a partner in is a company called Hire My VA. And that's where Joe started. Well, we've known each other for a long time, but Joe used that to find a couple of his first virtual assistants. I can tell you, when we're trying to find virtual assistants for American businesses, the better their English, the easier it is to get them a job. And they make more money doing it. Wouldn't that be awesome? Right? So, Joe, have you heard of this 100-hour rule? You ever heard of it? Have you ever talked about that?
No,
If you haven't, and
I
it's
actually,
okay. Yeah. So here's the thing. Learning anything new, I don't care what it is. If you're learning volleyball or how to play a guitar or a language, it can seem overwhelming and difficult and daunting. There's a lot of adjectives, right? And the whole process can be filled with failure and disappointments. But the key is that you don't give up, right? You don't despair, because we can learn new things at any age. Okay, so the 100-hour rule is really, it's a simple enough concept. It's basically this. If you spend just 100 hours a year on any discipline, which is basically just 18 minutes a day, you become better than 95% of the world at that skill. Think about that. If you spend 18 minutes a day for 1 year, you'll speak English better than 95% of the rest of the world. And this is just fact. It's been proven over and over and over again. If you practice volleyball 18 minutes a day, or martial arts, or playing the piano, you're going to be better than 95% of the rest of the world at that skill. 18 minutes a day, that's it. Imagine if you were to dedicate a half hour a day or 60 minutes a day. When I was learning martial arts, particularly the first martial arts style that I had learned, I was obsessed, obsessed. And this is without exaggeration, between the time that I started and the time that I got my black belt, I took 2 days off. Other than that, I trained at least 2 hours a day, the minimum, day in and day out. And I got my black belt. I was the second fastest person to ever get the black belt in my martial arts style, because I was obsessed about it. I'm not saying you should be obsessed about learning English and spend hours a day doing it, but just small little nuggets, bite-sized nuggets each day is going to help you. Okay? And so now I want to talk to you about strategies to actually build your confidence in this, okay? And so the first thing is this. Watch English-speaking movies and children's cartoons with subtitles. Have you ever done that? I remember when I lived in San Francisco, when I was the first job I ever had after the military, I was working at a little hotel in San Francisco. And there was a French guy who came in that we ended up hiring, and his English was really bad, but he's willing to work here at a low rate. And he used to watch a TV show called Golden Girls. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that show. Joe, you've probably heard of it. And he said that he watched that over and over again because the English was so natural, he could understand it, and it helped him build his sense of humor as well, right? Because English is a very difficult language to master. So don't be ashamed to tell people that you've recently begun learning English or that you're trying to improve your English and to ask them for patience and a little bit of help. There's no problem doing that. Okay? So watch English speaking movies and children's cartoons with subtitles. Number two, tell your family, friends, and coworkers that you're learning English and ask for help. Number three, prepare and practice key phrases and industry terminology. I said I started at this little hotel up in San Francisco. Well, I ended up becoming a partner in that hotel, and we grew that thing quite large. And one of the things that we did is that we paid for any non-English speakers to go through language training programs because, for one thing, it helped us run our businesses more effectively. They could communicate with our guests, and 2/3 of our staff of the 14 hotels that we had, English was a secondary language. There were a lot of Filipinos. There were a lot of people from Central America there. We had a few people from Eastern Europe there, right? So if you just start by preparing and practicing key phrases in your industry, that will help you. Okay. Number four, focus on your expertise rather than your language skills. Okay. So what am I saying here? Don't shift all of your efforts if you're a bookkeeper into learning English and then you let your bookkeeping skills falter. If you spend just 18 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day practicing English, you're going to get better. You just will. The more you do things, the easier it gets. Everything is hard until it gets easy. All right. Number five, embrace mistakes as learning opportunities. Too many of us are afraid that if I speak out loud, if I say something in English and I make a mistake, it's the end of the world. No, it's not. You can, frankly, you can laugh at yourself and you can say, man, I fumbled that one. Can you help me with this? Okay. Number six, I'm a big believer in this. Use positive self-talk and visualization techniques. I remember when I was learning Russian, which is another very difficult language. I remember the first time I had a dream in Russian, like, oh my gosh, it's finally sinking in. And you can do that with English as well. So those are things that you can do on your own, right? With family members, with friends. What I'm going to encourage you folks to do is that make learning fun and non-judgmental in your work environment. So here's an idea. Spend 5 minutes at the start of each of your meetings and play a game. Or maybe you end each meeting with a game, right? And just take one of these 5 little language games and do it, okay? One is this, rapid fire vocabulary challenge. Use Zoom's chat feature to quickly type business English terms or phrases. The first person to correctly use the term in a sentence gets a point. Okay, next one. Virtual whiteboard brainstorming. Use Zoom's whiteboard features for group brainstorming. Here's a topic, ways to politely disagree with a client. And this is all done in English. And everyone participates. And you just make it fun. Next thing, poll-based scenario responses. Present a client scenario and use Zoom's poll feature to have participants choose the best response. Discuss the results in English as a group. Number four, explain it like I'm a 5-year-old. Okay, that's the challenge. Present a complex accounting concept, and then volunteers in the group are going to explain it as if Joe is a 5-year-old, which he sometimes acts like sometimes. I'm allowed to say that, right, Joe? And then the group votes on the clearest explanation. Number five, virtual hot seat. One volunteer answers rapid fire questions from the group about specific accounting topics, again, in English, and emphasize clear, confident responses. If you were to take 5 or 10 minutes at each of your meetings to do this, you're going to get better at it. And isn't that good for all of us? Right? And so with that, we're going to do a practice session. So I'm going to ask for 2 volunteers. And if I don't get 2 volunteers, then I'm going to pick people. Oh, 3-year-old. Yes, Joe, 3-year-old. So what I'd like to do is have someone who speaks, better than okay English to be the English speaking client. And then I'm going to ask someone who is not so confident in their English to be a bookkeeper or accountant. Okay? Anyone want to volunteer for this? You can raise your hand or say, I'll do it in the chat. And then we're going to have whoever the host is, we're going to spotlight you two. I'm going to do a countdown and then I'm going to pick. 5, 4, 3, 2. People, none of you are courageous enough to do this. Are you really going to make me pick? Come on, be courageous. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Let me scroll through. Yeah, Joe says, come on, people. All right, I'm going to scroll through. Then I'm going to pick. Okay, Juliet. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. How comfortable are you with English?
Not so comfortable.
Oh, good. Will you do this with us?
Okay, I'll try.
Great. Oh, I love that. Good. So you're going to pretend that you're a bookkeeper or an accountant, okay?
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
And let's see. Okay, so there's one. Luz, do you want to help us? Do you want to pretend you're an English speaking client?
Okay, Joe. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm already nervous.
Yeah, I know. We're all nervous. So that's why we're going to do this. Because what you're going to do is you're going to push through this just like Liza did, the story I told earlier. You got both of you, your heart's probably racing right now, right? Your brain is spinning 100 miles an hour. So I'm going to unshare the screen. Well, first of all, one person can be the accountant, the other person can be the English speaking client, and you're going to discuss an error in the financial statement. So I'm going to stop sharing and oh, there we go. So we're all on here now. Okay, good. Does that make sense of what we're going to do? So, okay. So Juliet, you're going to pretend that you're a bookkeeper or you're an accountant. Okay. And you've got a client and you're in the office all by yourself today. Luz, where do you want to be from that you speak English really well? Do you want to be from America, South Africa, London?
Well, oh my God, I'm the one who speaks.
You're the one.
That's
You're the
my
one.
English. I'll just pretend.
Yeah, that's it. You're just pretending. It's called a role play. So do you want to be in London?
Yeah.
Okay, if you're in London, you have to use an English accent, not an American
Oh my
accent.
God, I don't
I'm
know the
kidding.
accent.
I'm kidding. So here's what we're going to do, Luz. Let's assume this. Juliet prepared a financial statement for you. Okay. And she sent it to you last night. You reviewed it this morning and you saw that there's a bunch of errors in it. Okay. That somehow someone miscoded some of the expenses. And so it doesn't make a lot of sense to you. You're not going to be mean to her. You're just going to ask questions like, what happened? What do we do to fix this? And we're just going to go back and forth for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to talk about it afterwards. Okay. And I get it. This is not going to be perfect. Okay. But what I want to show is we're just going to have fun here. And no one is judging you. We're your cheerleaders. Okay. That make sense?
Okay.
Okay. Juliet, are you ready?
Sure.
Here's my role. I'm going to be the telephone. Ring, 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 ring. Somebody has
Hello.
to answer the phone. There you go. Okay, Luz, you're on.
Hello, good morning, Juliet. I just saw the financial statements that you sent to me, and then I have few questions because there are numbers that it doesn't make sense, like my expenses in my rentals. I remember that I only paid my rentals for 6 months, and I just do some estimates and my manual computation. It's a little bit higher than what I expect. I just want to know, where did you get those numbers?
Great. That was awesome, by the way. Okay, Juliet, did you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. You're on.
Pretending that I didn't know.
Yeah, just pretend.
Uh,
Just pretend that you're in your high school play.
yes. Okay. Let me check my record first, and I will see how I arrived to that figures.
Good.
Okay.
I will try to check and explain it to you, ma'am.
Okay.
Can you give
Good.
me estimated date where you can give me the explanation, because right now I'm checking each line of the financial statement. So before I proceed to the next question, I want to know your answers regarding the rental expense.
The coverage of our records is from January to June. It's 6 months computation. That's how
Good.
I base my figures. Based on our records, it's a 6 months computation.
Where did
So
you get
there you go. Keep going.
where did you get the numbers? Is it from my spreadsheet, or because I tried to tally it by myself, so it's not that. Can we set a next appointment so you can prepare the presentation so we can discuss it more detailed?
Sure, sure, sure.
Good. 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 Okay. Let's end it there.
Okay.
How do everybody think that they did on this? You can be kind. What were your thoughts on this, everyone? Give us your comments in the chat. Joe, what do you think they did right? Where could they have done some improvement? You can just talk, Joe. And other people, if you could type the comments um, in the chat. What were your thoughts, Joe?
So, Luz was very respectful.
Yeah.
She explained exactly what her concern was, and she was clear about it. She said, I'm looking at my rental expense, and what you have on the statement is higher. Can you just explain where you got the numbers from? And Juliet responded, the way I would respond, let me get back to you. And let me just bring out that phrase. We had a very, very brilliant assistant, Elizabeth. Larry, you remember her. Luz knows her. She was a former attorney, very, very smart. And she said, listen, whenever somebody asks you a question that you're not sure about, just say, listen, I'll get back to you. I wanna research this. I give you a the best answer I can give you.
Yeah.
And that's pretty. I mean, Juliet, you didn't say I'll get back to you, but you did say let me research this.
Yeah. But how do you think
Okay.
she did on her English?
She did fine.
Yeah.
She did fine. I mean, it was clear. It
Completely
was
understandable.
completely understandable.
Yeah. That's the thing. I think so. I'd asked Juliet in the beginning, how's your English? And you kind of like were tamping it, not very good. I'm not comfortable. But you're a good communicator. You are. You just have to practice it. Now, remember what I said earlier? Everyone should listen to this. If you're not really comfortable, you can just say that in the beginning. You could say, "Hey, Ms. Luz, you speak your English is so good, and I'm honestly, I'm just practicing mine right now. I guarantee you my accounting is awesome and you can make fun of it. My accounting is awesome. I'm working on my English. So if you could just be a little bit patient with me. And people, their guard automatically drops because most people want to help other people. Do you agree with that, Joe? You've been around the block a few
Yeah,
times.
so I like everybody to look at what Catherine wrote in the chat. Uh, but two things I'd like to mention, Larry, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course, go.
You mentioned competence, and there's something I keep coming across called unconscious competence,
That's right.
right? So what that is when you know something so well, it just flows. It's like you don't even have to think about it.
Right.
All of you know accounting.
Yeah.
You all know accounting.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that really impressed me about the Philippine community. It was never about, oh, you don't know accounting.
Yes.
You know it. A lot of you know more about accounting than I do, to be honest with you. So what I would say is just tap into that knowledge. Don't think about, oh, I don't think my English is, because that's all in your head. You
Yeah.
just talk about what you actually know, and people are going to understand you. They're
Mm-hmm.
going to know because
Yeah.
you're speaking from experience and from knowledge. And that's where the confidence comes from.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
may not be confident in your English, but I guarantee you're confident in your accounting knowledge.
That's right.
So just go with that. The other thing is, Larry, where I met Larry is a mastermind full of world-class professional speakers.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Larry talked about his experience the first time that he spoke, right? It was scary. You flubbed it. You embarrassed yourself. And I've done that. And I did it because I knew to do what I'm doing right now. I had to get through that. I had to get through the fear. And what turned it for me was Craig, Larry, because he used to have a thing when he made a mistake on stage. Now, here's a guy that travels all over the country getting paid to speak, and he would make mistakes all the time on stage in front of 600 people. And then it would be, the word was squirrel. Whenever he made a mistake, he would say squirrel.
To
And
distract.
when I
Yes.
saw him do that, I said, oh my God,
Right.
he's just Craig.
Right.
He's just himself up there. I could do that because before that, I would go up there trying to remember what I would say. And I would be like, I'm going to screw this up. I'm going to screw it. And then it became, I'll just be Joe.
That's right.
I'll just be Joe. And it became so much easier. So
Yeah.
just be yourself. Go with what you know. Don't worry about, oh, I don't speak English well enough. I don't know anybody that the only one I've ever seen, Larry, to speak perfect English is Barack Obama. Because on Saturday Night Live, they would do skits on
Yeah.
the president, and they would try to make fun of their English, and they were like, we
Yeah.
can't make fun of his English.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Presidents
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
speak English right.
Yeah. Well, Maurice Domino was one. I think you know Maurice, right?
Oh yeah. Oh
He was a
God.
flawless. He was a flawless speaker. But the point here, I think, in all of this is just practice 18 minutes a day, and you will get better and better and better. Juliet, you did a great job. Luz, you were a champ. Thank you for getting in there and helping. You did a great job as well. So let me share my screen, and we're going to keep going, and we're going to bring this thing home, okay? Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. Okay, now what I want to give you now are 5 tips for effective business English, okay? As you practice your English skills, here are some tips that's going to enhance that. Use clear and concise language. If you have to slow down a little bit, slow down a little bit. Enunciate your words a little bit more, okay? Avoid jargon or explain it when necessary. Do you know what jargon is? Jargon are phrases and terms that are only specific to your industry. So I spent a bunch of years in the military. If I come in and I start using all these military acronyms and words, it's probably going to go over most people's heads, right? And so adjust your language to the audience that's listening, okay? Number 3 is practice active listening. Can anyone explain to me what active listening is? You can either chime in or throw it in the chat. What's active listening? I'm going to pause for a second. Anyone want to take a stab at that? Active listening? So active listening is repeating back to someone what you just heard. What I hear you saying is, and that gives the speaker the opportunity to say, well, that's not exactly what I said. What I said was, I'm going to get that report to you by the 15th, not tomorrow. Does that make sense? It gives you an opportunity to clarify. Okay. Whoops. Confirm understanding by summarizing key points. When you wrap up the meeting, okay, what we discussed here today is this. Are we all in agreement on that? And the fourth thing is this: learn to use appropriate idioms and expressions. An idiom are things like balance the books. Like the phrase doesn't mean literally what you're saying, or gravy train. What is a gravy train? Right? So what does balance the books really mean? What we're really talking about is doing a bank reconciliation, closing out all the accounts, right? That's what balancing the books means in the colloquial sense, right? Gravy train is what? Gravy train means something like making a lot of money without a lot of effort, right? A nest egg. What's nest egg really mean? It's really about savings, right? That I've got money in the bank, right? That makes my life comfortable. Cook the books. These are all idioms. Cooking the books means what? It means like dishonest bookkeeping, right? So learn to use those. And if someone uses an idiom that you don't understand, don't be afraid to say, "Can you hold on a second?" I'm just practicing my English right now, and I don't know all of these things, but what does that mean? I promise you this: when I'm learning other languages, I've got to stop people all the time. And here we go. We're going to bringing this home. Here are some tools and resources that I want to give you folks to help, okay? To help you speak English better. The first one is this, and there's so many great apps and AI tools to help you learn a new language. Duolingo is a really good one. I love Babbel. I use Babbel a lot. Like before I go to another country, I oftentimes will listen to or go on to Babbel for 30 days beforehand just to learn introductions and directions and those types of things. And then Elsa Speak is another good one. I was planning on going to Chile a couple of years ago, and Chile speaks Spanish, but there's a variant. There's a dialect, not a dialect. What am I thinking? Well, it's not exactly Spanish as I understood from going to Mexico, right? And so I got these earbuds you put in that was a translator. Okay. Have you guys seen these things advertised? You put the earbuds in, and it's programmed that if I were speaking English and someone was, speaking Spanish or could only speak Spanish, it automatically translated it into the earbuds. And those are getting so much better and so much faster that at one point we're not going to have to worry about all of this stuff right now. And we're going to be able to communicate with anyone in any country. That's going to be awesome. But until then, there are websites like BBC Learning English and Grammarly and TED Talks. I am blown away at how many people recommend using TED Talks as a way to learn English. Okay. And then practice regularly. Set aside 18 minutes a day to learn English. And that doesn't mean you have to necessarily be speaking English, although I'd encourage you to do that, but to be listening to it as well. Okay. And then find a language exchange partner. You can go online. There are forums for this. Or I'm sure in your community, there are people who are either native or fluent English speakers that you can practice with. Okay. And so I'm going to give you some homework and then we're going to wrap up. And this is easy homework. This will be fun for you. Judy, are you talking to me? Are you trying to get my attention, Judy? Oh, maybe not. Okay.
No.
What I want what I want you to do is watch an English language children's cartoon each week. Just watch one each week. Now, if you want to make it even more educational, you can go to YouTube and you can put in um, Philippine children's cartoon English. You know, like this one right here is on YouTube, and it teaches you basic words, okay, that can help you out. Watch one TED Talk in English per week and summarize it in writing. That will help you with both your written communication, your comprehension, and your speaking. All right. And you're going to find some really inspiring stories there. And there's a video, and this is one of the videos. Learn English with TED. All right. The TED Talks. This will help you. You'll become a better professional. The third thing is this: practice explaining a complex accounting concept in simple English. Okay. And I do this all the time when I'm trying to learn something new. Keep a journal of new business English terms that you encounter. Okay, and then you can go back to it. Oh, I learned this new phrase. Okay. And then you try to use it. Okay. Now we're going to close up here. I want to tell you this other story. This is about John. So John was an accountant and he struggled with his English pronunciation. Like a lot of his words were very funky, difficult to understand. But he decided to tackle this head on. And what he did is he took his phone and he recorded himself speaking into it, right? He would read things, okay, into his phone. And guess what he then did? He listened back at what he was saying. So at first it was really super uncomfortable for him to hear himself stumble and make mistakes. And he knew that he wasn't, speaking so clearly, but he persisted. He persevered. He had tenacity. He didn't quit. And he also started watching English speaking news programs every day. Okay. And after just 3 months, his colleague noticed a really significant improvement. And then 6 months later, he was confidently leading client presentations. Um, and what's interesting here, just like Liza earlier, his dedication didn't only just improve his English, but it also earned him a promotion at work. So I just want you to remember that consistent effort leads to remarkable results. You all have got it in you to be awesome, competent, and confident English speakers. Okay. And that's what I've got for you today. Now, I'm going to be sending this presentation out so that you guys, I'm sure you're recording this, and you guys can watch this again. There's a lot of tips in there on what you can do to become better English speakers. But the key is this: just practice. How many minutes a day do I want you to practice? I've said it about 14 times so far.
18.
How many?
18.
18. Thank you. Yes, 18 minutes a day. Do you have 18 minutes a day that you could practice this? And it doesn't have to be all 18 minutes at once. You've got 18 minutes a day. Yes, you do, Marianne. Yes. Yes, 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 Ann. Okay. That's what I've got for you. Joe, Coach Jan,
Yeah,
Luz, anyone else? What do you got for me?
there's a lot. It's really a value bomb. So just to emphasize, I'll just give my takeaways. Even me, I'm always learning from Larry. I remember there's a victory book. I always remember the victory. So that's my
Yeah.
pattern on what when I'm doing. So sooner or later, maybe Larry can discuss that book, Victor. Thank you, Joe, for introducing that book. But my takeaways is confidence, according to Larry, is just believing in your ability. It doesn't necessarily you're good in English because we're not a native US citizen. Actually, Filipino is the most, I think, in Asia, all over the world, the best speaking in English.
Yeah.
Even the vendor outside the airport can speak in English, right? The taxi driver.
Yeah.
But if you go to other countries like Japan, Korea, Singapore, they don't speak in English. It's very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so How about you guys? Can you type in your takeaways because I have a lot,
Yeah,
and I can.
let me explain this. I think that competence comes from competence, right? So the better you get at things, the more confident you get in it. If someone were to ask me to go out and play a game of basketball, I'm pretty athletic. But if someone said, "Hey, Larry, go play on this team with basketball," I don't even know what the positions are. I would have no confidence because I have zero competence. But if someone said, "Hey, um, let's pick another sport, wrestling match or martial arts, or go to the gun range and teach a class on how to shoot," I could do that like that. I have a lot of confidence because I have competence in those areas. Okay. So your confidence in English will come the more you practice it. How many minutes a day? 18 minutes a day. And by the end of the year, you'll speak better English than 95% of the world.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone who would like to share their thoughts? Because me, I'm again learning a lot, and it's a good topic. Why? Because we all know that we're working offshore, and
Right.
most of the client or industries are the first thing that they consider is the communication, not your skills. Basically, the communication. But there's a lot of way to communicate effectively, and one of those is answering the right ask question. I think one is ask question, then active listening. So I'm learning a lot, and I hope you guys should learn a lot. We're 63, so thank you so much for being here. I know it's Saturday. You should be, doing the laundry and cleaning your house, but you choose to stay with us, right? So we're so thankful, and I hope we can still see you more often in our webinar every Saturday. And yeah, let's have a picture, and we can recap.
Wait, can I share can I share a couple of things, Marianne? Because yeah, the 18 the 100-hour rule, Larry, thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. I never heard that. I know a lot, to develop a habit, you have to do it a certain amount of times and then it just becomes natural. But what I really want to share is, well, let me share a short story with my friend and teammate, Miss Luz. And I love this story. The first time she had to speak to one of our clients, I told her that I was going to be in the meeting with her. I had two clients, husband and wife, very nice people. And I said, don't worry, I'm going to be in the meeting with you. And 5 minutes before the meeting, I went and took my afternoon power nap. I had no intention of going to the meeting. I wanted Luz and at the end of the meeting, I said, "Well, how was it?" And I'll never forget. She was like, "They were so nice. I was nervous at first, and I never had to uh, join a client meeting with her again or any of our other accounting teammates, and they all meet with our clients, all of them. So I'm pretty sure Luz coached them on how to do it. But this is what I really want to share. It was very, very surprising to me that Philippine people have this mindset that, oh, I don't speak English well enough. It's so off base. It's so not true. Uh, but in order for, Marianne and I share this same vision, and that's to disrupt the American accounting community. In order to do that, we need you to understand that, hey, my English is fine. I'm talking about accounting. I know this stuff. And the truth is, when American business owners are speaking to you about their taxes and their accounting, they're more nervous than you. You don't really, am I right, Larry? It's
Yeah,
like
because
they
you're the
have no
expert.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're looking at you and they're not going to say, "Oh man, I can't understand her English." They're going to be like, "Oh man, I can't wait till this is over because this is pain."
Well, I
You
will say
know,
this, Joe. I'm going to push on you a little bit. The more effectively you communicate in English, for sure, the more confidence it gives the client that that you're on their side, that you understand it. So you're right.
Absolutely.
I think the way to put it is that there's a little bit of trepidation and nervousness on both sides. You're not the only person, and everyone you're speaking with is a human just like you are. And by the way, I see Grace's hand up. Grace, did you want to ask something or say something or?
Yeah, thank you for this wonderful seminar or lesson. I just want to add something to today's conversation. We have said it all. English is not everyone's language, and I mean here. So, but it's what we can learn and it's what we can practice every day. I'm also is English my second language. Well, thank you for this wonderful presentation. But my second question is, I know I'm not Filipino, I'm an African woman, but I don't know how I got these invitations. I don't know where it comes from, but I just, okay, let me give it a try. So now, I don't know if you guys have a community, you know what I'm saying, or a group that you guys belong to so that I can join.
Hey, Grace, where are you
I don't know how
from?
I got here. Originally I'm from Nigeria, but I based in US.
You're in the US?
Yeah, I'm in US. But I don't know how I
Great.
got this link.
I don't know. I don't know. Where in the US are you based?
I based in New York,
Okay,
precisely.
good, good, good. Yeah, I love the African continent. I've been to about, I don't know, 22 different countries there. My minor at university was African politics, which is, most people find that very odd. So I love the African people. Well, thank you, Grace. Joe, do you want to address that if there's any other, if you've got communities for her?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
I would imagine
Jumpstart
any.
community. We have the Jumpstart community. You're muted, Larry.
You're muted, Larry. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. What I was going to say, Joe, is that yes, whether it's payroll, bookkeeping, enrolled agent, there's all kinds of courses that Grace could
Okay,
participate in.
how can I enroll? Because I think this is kind of God answers prayer for this meeting. Because I just closed the deal of bookkeeping and I don't even know how to get about it. And also, I do taxes, income taxes, and
Mhm.
I think I would love to join this group so that I can, become an expert in bookkeeping and in transaction and at the same time and payroll. Presently, I'm trying to study for enroll agent, so I think this group will be a better job start
That's
for me
great.
as well.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
we're on
Grace meet
Facebook.
Joe.
Yeah, we're on Facebook, Grace. Just can somebody put the link in the chat for her? Just, or just search, jumpstart your freelance accounting career in Facebook.
Mhm.
We'd love to have you.
Grace, there's a lot of
Okay,
people. I
thank
don't know
you.
if you, Grace, if you can't see the chat, there's a lot of people welcoming you to the community.
Welcome,
So
Oh,
Grace.
thank you.
that's
Welcome,
pretty
Grace.
cool.
Thank you.
So I think Grace will be the best person to, we can have a Zoom call with Grace to practice our English because according to Larry, you should practice, make a native a person to do the practice for English. Maybe
There you
Grace
go.
will do a Zoom call with us. All
There you
right?
go.
Oh, no, I'm still
Oh,
learning English.
Let's keep
Myrna,
in
it's good
touch
to see
with
you. I didn't know that she was on
every
there.
Saturday we do have a webinar. Mark your calendar every Saturday 9 a.m. We do have two more
Yeah.
speaker next week related to accounting. And again, this I hope this is not your first time. We're looking forward to be with you for the next session. And hopefully to the Philippines. You can come here with the Philippines. Yeah, so don't forget to post this session. Post your takeaways and tag Larry on LinkedIn and in all social media so we can have a good things we did this Saturday morning. Again, once again, thank you so much in behalf of Bedrock team, Larry, Joe, and of course, some of the accounting peoples are here. Thank you so much for supporting us. Let's
Are you
have
doing a
a
picture?
picture first. So open your camera, please. This is your favorite part, I know. Yeah. Anyone can help us to have a picture. See?
Take the picture. I'll be the one to take the picture, Marian. Okay,
Yes.
1, 2, 3, smile. That's the first, because we have 3 screens, so that's next.
Where's Joe? Joe, round out. There's no.
Okay, another one.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, smile. And last one. 1, 2, 3, smile.
Okay, thank you so much. Don't forget to join the FB group community and also Jumpstart community on LinkedIn to keep you posted on the events and every free webinar. Thank you. Thanks, Larry. Happy weekend.
Thanks, guys. See
And
you.
to our next
All right.
workshop next
God
Saturday.
bless. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Larry. Thank
Yeah,
you,
thanks, Joe.
Marianne.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. I'm going to be
Okay.
seeing you soon, Larry.
Yeah, I know. That's great. Looking forward to it.
In Dallas, yeah.
Yep. All right. Peace out, everyone. See ya.
Thank you.
I'll send the slide deck over.
Thanks.
Good job, Juliet.